Hi guys, welcome to the Darkness channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. Lunch is ready. Helen set a plate with a sandwich on the dining table. I walked over to it and opened the sandwich's slice of bread. It had some sort of roast beef in it and provolone cheese. I ate it quickly, and by the time I finished, the front door opened and Nathan walked in. She sighed and hung up her jacket. Long day of bullshit. She laughed, and so did Helen. She walked into the kitchen, passing me at the table. I walked into the kitchen and set the plate in a sink. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Wash that! Any dishes you use during the day must be hand washed, and night dishes get put in a dishwasher. Nadine scowled. Her sudden attitude caught me off guard. So, I guess not all of the sisters are as nice as I thought. Oh, I kinda laughed and used the soap and sponge to wash my plate. My bad. Yeah, and rule. She wants to make sure everything is clean and perfect, Nadine said while she reached into the fridge and pulled out a brown bag toward the back of the fridge. After washing the dish, I placed it on the drying rack. I watched as Nathan pulled out bread and opened a brown paper bag and pulled out something wrapped up in tin foil out of it. It was the roast beef I had on my sandwich earlier. I walked out of the kitchen and saw that Anne was home too. She smiled and plopped down on the couch and chatted with Helen. Within 3 hours, Colleen got home from work, and we were all seated at the dining room table eating dinner. I remember what Anne told me, and it was time to leave. I thanked everyone for letting me stay. I got up and started heading towards the door, but Colleen got up and ran in my direction, blocking the front door with her hand resting against it. Where are you going? You can't go back out there, she said, and was seated at the table, and her facial expression narrowed, almost like she was telepathically asking Colleen, "What the fuck are you doing?" Why not? It's not raining anymore, I countered. Anne told me to leave after dinner. I promised her. Colleen looked over at Anne with an angry expression on her face, and just sat there, keeping her composure. Anne? Is that how you choose to treat him? Blake, you can stay. We like you. She smiled. Colleen. Anne wanted to say something, but Colleen talked over her. We decided that we'll let you stay here for 2 weeks. That should give you enough time to try and get a new job and maybe rent a hotel room. I feel terrible just throwing you out right after you found a place to stay. Colleen surprised me by staying. She snapped her head in Anne's direction, scowling. 2 weeks? Are you for real? My mouth formed an O shape in surprise. Yeah, we're just nice like that. Colleen smiled and Anne shook her head. I felt bad. me staying here, and Anne clearly doesn't enjoy company. Or she just doesn't enjoy homeless guys chilling at her house. And I totally agree with her. I feel bad. Thank you, all of you. This was so unexpected. If there's anything you want me to do for you guys, just let me know. I can clean, I can have chores, anything to repay you guys. I said. 2 weeks seemed like a long time and a short time put together. I will have to try and get a job quickly and hopefully get back on my feet. I can always go back to my house, but I try to avoid that option. I am not going back there. Do you have a computer so I can start filing out job applications? I asked eagerly. I know I have 2 weeks, but I am not wasting any time. I am serious about working and getting a place of my own, even if it's really small. It's better than nothing, and I really want to get back on my feet. Colin smiled and looked over at Helen and Nathan sitting next to me on the couch. It's getting late. Don't worry about that now. You can start working on that tomorrow. I promise if you just remind me in the morning. Thanks, I replied to Colin, and after hours of just sitting there watching a show with them, we all went to bed. I was tired as hell, but I just laid there in bed, staring up at the white ceiling. I couldn't get what happened out of my mind. The voice I heard. It sounded like a guy in the basement. Why would these guys hoard a man in a basement? They are so nice and definitely not serial killers at first glance. Maybe I was just hearing things. I drifted off into a deep sleep, and I was thankful to finally sleep comfortably in what seems like forever again. I jerked awake, covered in sweat. I immediately felt sick to my stomach, a very unsettling feeling. I was having a horrible nightmare. I glanced over at the clock on white nightstand. It's 1:45 p.m. I got up and walked downstairs, expecting to hear nonsense chatter between the women, or just something. But it was completely silent throughout the home. The TV was off and the window was cracked open, so the sunlight poured into the living room and the birds could be heard singing. There was a pile of clothes on the coffee table, accompanied by a note. I walked over to it and picked it up. Blake, we all went to our good friend's house for the day. Sorry we didn't mention this last night. It was decided last minute. Here's a new change of clothes and there's a clean towel in a bathroom. You can shower and there's how to work the TV. Followed by some instructions regarding the TV. We should be home soon. The girls. I definitely didn't expect to be left all alone in their nice home. It gave me a sense of relief knowing they trust me. I grabbed a pile of clothes and walked upstairs to the bathroom. Where are they getting all of these men's clothes from? I stripped all of the ones I was wearing and left them on the tiled floor. I decided to take my time with the shower this time. No rush. It felt nice. When I got out, I dried myself and changed into the new clothes, which happened to be dark blue sweatpants and a tight fitting black shirt. I felt nice and refreshed after the shower. I decided to help myself to the kitchen to get something to eat. I grabbed a pack of small blueberry muffins from the cabinet. I turned and quickly glanced at the basement door. Part of me wanted to padlock the door so whatever's in there will never come up to kill me or any of us here. Another part of me wanted to believe that I was just imagining things and that I'm an idiot for ever thinking there's a monster or something down there. But there was one other part of me, the part of me that wanted to go down there and find out for myself. The basement. I kept thinking about it, even though it might have just been my imagination. I just wanted to confirm that there was nothing down there. The basement. Check the basement. My curiosity got the best of me. I shuffled over to the basement door. There's nothing down there. I'm just going down there to confirm that there is nothing down there. I slowly opened the door and walked down the stairs, one step at a time. But something in the back of my mind was yelling at me to turn around now. Anne's point of view. I'm so glad you girls could come here today. I just miss you all so much. Lauren pulled each of us into a small hug. We miss you too, Lauren. It's been years, I heard Colin say. I was usually the quiet and more reserved sister. I just listened as everyone talked. I looked down at my hands, folded nicely together. I thought about Blake. I wondered what he was up to. I hope he wasn't laying around all day, trashing up the place. But somehow I knew I could trust him. I felt very bad for him, and the feeling in my stomach wouldn't go away. When's the wedding? Nadine asked. April. It's just a few months away, and I get more and more excited when it gets closer. Lauren smiled, and they both kissed, and I felt awkward. I've never had a boyfriend. I think it's impossible to love someone like me, someone who doesn't deserve an ounce of love. I know I'm not alone in that feeling, because my sisters are exactly the same as me. They're my foster sisters. We all got adopted together. That's when we met Lauren too. We all met in the same orphanage. As much as I try to forget about the whole experience, I can't help but think about it all the time. Flashback. I sat all alone in the orphanage. I truly miss my parents so much. I lost them, but I never speak of how I lost them. Now I'm here until I get adopted. But things changed when I met these two sweet girls. Nadine, and Helen. They were my first and only friends in this orphanage. We were all young, too young to remember. But I remember everything so perfectly. I wonder if Colleen remembers too. I mean, she should. Memorize, memorize. The true horror. I wish I could just forget about it all, but I can't. You aren't going to tell anyone what you just saw. It will be our little secret. We will be best friends forever. I have to make sure you never tell my secrets. It's your secret too, and there's nothing you can do to change that. I very vividly remember Colleen telling us weeks later. I just wish I could forget the events that happened before that. End of flashback. Hello, Anne. Lauren waved her hand in my face and I jumped back into reality. I'm sorry, what? I was zoned out, I said. And I refused to tell any of them of what I was thinking of. I said, dinner's ready, let's eat. Lauren smiled and I returned one. Unknown point of view. Flashback. It was a slow and boring day. I played with my dolls on the windowsill. It was raining and the water droplets trickled down the glass on the opposite side. For just a moment, it was quiet. It's never this quiet. I knew it wouldn't last forever, because then I heard my foster siblings get into a fight. The commotion seems to be over a toy. Little blonde Colleen and Gian were hitting each other because Colleen wanted Gian's toy. And of course, no grown-up was stopping this fight. Our foster mother was at work all day, and our foster father was drunk and dizzy on the recliner. Sometimes I thought he was dead, but occasionally he would yell in his sleep for us to shut the hell up, then doze off into sleep. I was hungry. I got used to hearing my stomach grumble for food. I left my dolls on the windowsill and padded over to the kitchen. I grabbed a chair, scooted it to the counter, and tried to look through the cabinets for something. Just dust and dead bugs, and an expired box of cereal. I hopped off the chair and sighed. I looked at my foster siblings. There were 4 of them. They were busy fighting, or playing, or watching TV. I sneaked off into the adults' bedroom and walked over to our foster father's black jacket on the bed. I dug through the pockets until I found his cracked leather wallet. I took a $20 bill and shoved it in my jeans. I was going to get us something to eat. I put my coat on and looked over at everyone before leaving. Our father was moving in his sleep, and I froze in my tracks. His eyes snapped open and my knees were weak, expecting him to come over here and hit me for stealing his money. But that didn't happen. He reached over for his bottle, chugged some, then dropped tossed the empty bottle to the floor and sank back into the chair, snoring away. Colin and Gian were still fighting. Then they disappeared into one of the other rooms. The other girls were watching cartoons or making a mess of the place. Sometimes I think, are we too much to handle? Maybe if we were better kids, we wouldn't be drinking and sleeping all day. I quietly left the house, walking in the cold rain until I reached a convenience store. They had a bunch of hot food, so I used all the money to buy chicken nuggets and tacos and pizza, whatever they had. I was starving and it all sounded good. All my sisters will be happy to eat something other than expired food. I came back and he was still snoring on the couch. I gave some food to Nathan and Helen, and they ate while watching cartoons. I was happy to see them happy. Their stomachs were always growling loudly. It made me happy to feed them. "Where are Gian and Colin?" I asked. They just shrugged their shoulders as they ate away and watched TV. I ate with them and left the rest of the food on the counter. Cockroaches were crawling on the counter. So then I just covered the food up in a paper towel and a bag, then set it in the fridge instead. I went to find the other girls to let them know I got food. I knew they were hungry too. We only get to eat dinner when Mom comes home, and she usually brings us Burger King or something because she's too tired to cook. I was grateful for her. She was much nicer to us and she actually fed us. "Colin, go on," I called, not too loud so I didn't wake up the drunk man. I didn't hear anything. I walked down the hallway when suddenly Colleen popped out from her bedroom and closed the door behind her. She looked horrified, like she saw a ghost or a monster. "What?" I asked. "I got us some food," I said before she cut me off. "Something happened. Come here." She grabbed my hands and she was covered in sweat. She dragged me into the bathroom and it was just the two of us. Thanks for staying till the end. Please subscribe to more stories.